Delino uses a push and pull strategy. They make their own recipe ideas and push them to the intermediaries who try and advertise the sauces. But they also visit their distributors and shops to see what the customers are most drawn to, what makes the pull side of the strategy. One clear ported strategy for Dalino is focus strategy. The company specializes in making best sauces and makes their own recipes. Delino is highly responsive to the external environment, catching and looking for new trends in food industry, visits their distributors and tries out new recipes for sauces, sends it, for example, to the Tasty Gazette and receives feedback from the distributors.
So, to start off with the political factor, Dirino must comply with Belgian and European regulations regarding food, safety, labeling, packaging, etc. Changes in these regulations could impact production processes and costs. For economic factors, it's all about the income levels. Changes in disposable income levels affect consumer purchasing power and demand for premium or affordable sauces. Then, as social factor, Delino must consider Belgian consumers' diverse preferences when developing new sauce flavors because of the three language regions with different culture in Belgium, which are, of course, German, French, and Dutch.
As technological factor, Deluno leverages technological advancements by strategically utilizing online platforms, including e-commerce stores and digital advertising channels. By harnessing the power of these tools, Deluno not only increases its sales of sauces, but also gains valuable insights into customer preferences and behaviors. Legally, Deluno works hard to make sure it can keep going strong in the long run. They pay close attention to following the legal requirements. By doing things right, they minimize the risk of legal disputes and can keep growing steadily. This commitment to doing the right things helps Deluno to stay strong and successful even when things change. Deluno also prioritizes environmental sustainability by implementing various eco-friendly practices. They use biological water purification and own solar panels for renewable energy. Additionally, their CO2 cooling plant maximizes efficiency and minimizes waste. These efforts showcase Delino's commitment to reducing its ecological footprint and promoting a greener future.
One clear ported strategy for Dalino is focus strategy. The company specializes in making best sauces and makes their own recipes.
For the political analysis, business must follow or
Okay, and starting off with technological for the Canadian company, a major one will be delivery apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats. These programs will help their business increase their sales and awareness to reach many new customers that they would not have reached before. Being on these apps will also help their restaurant's efficiency because they can now serve many customers at a time, and this has also helped them when their dine-in space is very limited and it only has around 10 seats. For legal, the restaurant always has to be in compliance with all safety and health regulations that is needed to operate a legal restaurant in BC. They have also needed to buy additional insurance coverage because they expanded their business very recently. And lastly, for environmental, there has been a big shift towards recyclable and reusable packaging and takeout containers. This also includes having paper plates and paper cutlery and straws too. They have also started a new composting initiative which aims to reduce food waste at the restaurant with leftover food and other things that they have to throw out.
for the porter's strategy of Canadian company. They are Cambodian restaurant, and due to raising costs, the restaurant focuses on efficiency and cost management. By efficiently managing costs, they aim to offer competitive prices to customers while maintaining profitability. Also, they adopt a differentiation strategy by catering to various dietary needs. So they aim to stand out from the competitors and attract customers seeking specific dietary choices. Moreover, they are Their focus is to emphasize eco-friendly practices to address environmental concerns, such as eco-friendly packaging and composting programs. Therefore, the restaurant's product strategy enables them to pioneer a unique market position and enhance brand loyalty.
So I'm going to start off with the Belgian interview for the company Derino. How is the company developing in the technological area? So Derino is taking big steps in the technological area, quite specifically with their production automation. For example, they have a palletizer robot, a case packer for fully automated packing of bottles, scanning of the products. They also have a full-time in-house R&D specialist for product development. Then for the second question, how are the current legal regulations affecting the food industry? So legal regulations tend to make business more difficult. For example, Belgium is a country with 3 official languages, Dutch and French as main languages, but there's also a small part of Belgium where German is the main language. Recently, authorities have stated that all labels for consumer products need to be in all 3 languages. The legislation has existed for decades, but since the region is very small, all labels were in Dutch and French. Authorities have now decided that all labels need to be adjusted. On the other hand, they cannot ask their distributors not to sell to shops in this region, since this would be considered discriminatory. Now moving on to question 3 and 4. How does the company employ certain marketing strategies to promote the products? At Delino, they use a push and pull strategy. They visit their distributors and their shops. They make their recipes with their sauces and send these recipe ideas to their shops. Those shops use their product in their preparations or dishes. They also use social media advertising in promotional brochures of their distributors. Advertising in trade magazines, booths on trade fairs, booths on seasonal fairs that are organized by their distributors. Now question 4, how does the company have a way to try to predict the consumer trends when it's about to shift? So at Delino it's very simple. The prices are determined based on their cost calculations. The products are not in a discount range and they try to be competitive and bring the best product at a reasonable price.
Our fifth question was about how the company addresses its environmental sustainability. She told us that Torino prioritizes their sustainability through a biological water purification system, 1,000 voltaic panels that are able to provide energy for 1,000 families, a CO2 heating plant with residual heat utilization, high pressure cleaning to reduce water usage, and participation in the RSPO supply chain for sustainable palm oil sourcing. Our next question for Madame Denise was how they navigate when there are some political changes. Domestically, the company does not suffer a lot from political instability or changes in the government policies. Internationally, the instability and the wars have a huge effect on the prices of raw materials. They try to anticipate as much as possible, but unfortunately it is impossible to always contract the right materials at the right time. Economic trends always affect consumers' behavior, so also those of Derino. Despite price increases, Derino sales stay strong thanks to advantage contracts and Belgium's wage index. Restaurant visits weren't affected, and customers still see convenience due to the employee shortages. Derino's pricing strategy prioritizes customer success for mutual benefit. Our next question is about how this influences the projects that they provide. Consumers prefer convenient prepared meals or salads. They see an increase in their portion pack dressings. The category of dressings in bottle doesn't grow much. This is the case with all producers. They believe this is because people buy more ready-made salads.
Okay, here we have questions number 9 and 10 with Miss Evelyn Dennis. The answer for the question number 9 was that we do see more diverse foods and influences from multiculturalism in food. We see a trend towards more sweet and more spicy foods. With aging population, they remained quite classical. And then the answer for question number 10. Food and cooking is trending. We believe this also influences what we see in food service and ready-made meals. 40 years ago, it started with lasagna in butcher shops. Nowadays, most butcher shops have a vast, large assortment of ready-made meals or components. The fresh meat section is less significant than back in the days. Then we have another answer is yes, we generate brand-related media, and we sometimes use the inspiration we find online in our home recipes, developments, and our inspiration for our customers. And then we have the answers for questions number 11 and 12. Well, we received quite a short answer, and for both questions, Dalino does not have a mandatory union representative in our company and is therefore not in contact with the union.
We use Discord as a meeting channel and we use WhatsApp to communicate to ourselves, most especially the day and the time we are going to meet on Discord to discuss important matters about the project. Discord works for me because I'm very familiar with it and I use it to we use it for a couple of presentations last term. We started the project with great ideas and mentality and also set a standard that we must all meet. That helps us a lot. The only challenge for me was time difference, so each one of us has different schedule, making it a little bit difficult for our team members to be present in our meetings. Sometimes, sometimes some people are in work while some are doing meetings. The trust between members contributed the most for me because if we do not trust ourselves, I don't think anything meaningful will come out in this project. I would suggest future teams to be bold and not to be shy, as some of us find it difficult to speak in meetings because of meeting new faces. We are from different places and we have different attributes and behavior. This project has taught me how to tolerate others, most especially on virtual events.
For the reflection, we had regular meetings through Discord and communicated through WhatsApp. It was my first time using Discord, but it was quite useful. I think we all approached this project with clear objectives. Under the ground rules, we clearly set a weekly goal and checked progress. It was quite practical. I believe high team efficacy and trust between members are important factors because it is a team project. So we need to accomplish tasks to finish this project. While working on this project, I felt time management skills are important. So creating flexible hours is needed to collaborate on a project, not to struggle to reach deadlines. Members have different backgrounds, but we all try to finish the project successfully with a positive mindset. This helped me to understand how I work as a team and be aware of areas for improvement.
Okay, starting off with number 1, our team used WhatsApp for text communication, and we also used Discord to host our weekly meetings. This worked well because we were easily able to communicate with each other, and everyone was familiar with the software already. And number 2, our team had a very similar mindset when we started our project. We all wanted to have good communication with one another, so we set up a time every week to have our weekly meetings. During these weekly meetings, we made important decisions as a group, and we could also help each other out when we needed to. Something that was missing from our group was 100% attendance at every meeting, but this was unexpected and understandable when people have outside commitments like work and a big time difference. We did our best to fill everyone in if they couldn't make the meeting and catch them up on important tasks. And number 3, the most important factor for our group was trust. Having high trust helped us work together very well, and without having trust, we wouldn't be able to finish our project. And for a successful team project, especially in an online environment, I would recommend building trust early on with all of your teammates. Having high trust makes sure everyone works together very well, and it also helps when setting goals and expectations for each other when it comes to workload and things like that. And lastly, number 5, this project has challenged my communication skills to communicate and work with others, especially when they come from a different country and especially when this project was in an online environment. This was very similar to my learning objective where I wanted to focus on team communication and making sure everyone was on the same page during the entire project from start to finish.
So to start off, we used WhatsApp for communicating when we would meet up. We also used Discord for our online meetings and the sharing of documents. We approached the project with very similar ideas of how to start everything. It was very important to have two coordinators from Canada and Belgium. The only thing that was missing would be the presence of every team member within the meetings. The factor that was most present for me was the trust between the team members on and off the project. I could very easily talk to the Canadian team members about topics about the project and also in general, which really built up the trust. The presence of everyone in the team was something that was sometimes missing. There were some people who didn't always talk as much and weren't as confident as the other members. In the future, I would try to motivate these people even more. Sometimes it was a challenge to plan the meetings due to the difference in time zones, but it really helped me to adapt to the team. The fact that we also had to talk with people who have English as their first language was an experience which further developed my language skills, definitely.
As a team, we decided to use Discord as our way to communicate visually and hold the weekly meetings, and also we used WhatsApp to communicate in between meetings for quick questions. We started this project as complete strangers to one and another, so the first meeting we had was really not super productive, but helped with getting to know each other a little better. After the first meeting, we really started to plan all of our deadlines and every meeting so the project would go smoothly. We sometimes ran into some trouble because of the time difference, but also because of the fact that many people have a student job in the weekends. For me, the most important factor was self leadership, because even though it's a group project, everybody has to do his own work and put his own effort into the project. Communication and helping each other is very important in this project, but you also have to do your part of the project, of course. I would suggest for a future virtual team to always speak your mind and trying to implement your own ideas. A good group project only works if everyone speaks his mind and tells his or her own ideas. Only this way you know that everybody is satisfied with of the end of the project. My learning objective was to organize my work better so me and my teammates can work more effectively and in a more structured way. This project really helped me with that because of the different time zones. It was very important to always work in a good organized way.
I would like to reflect on the project. For the first question, we used Discord as meeting channel because it was very easy to use and everyone were familiar with this program. Then with the second question, my team approached the project with calm attitude. Every meeting was very practical and straightforward. The process that helped keep effective work was to have one person in each Canadian and Belgian team that coordinates work of the team members. From my perspective, there was not anything missing and the project went smoothly. And in my opinion, the factor of self-leadership contributed the most, as everyone knew what they have to do without any question or miscommunication. For the fourth question, I would simply suggest to be engaged into the project and be honest with the other team members about your availability for meetings and work. And for the fifth question, my key learnings are meeting planning difficulties, as it's often very hard to gather every team member at certain day and hour. Also to use every opportunity to meet, as later it may not be possible due to many circumstances. Another good lesson for me was speaking with people with English as first language, the native speakers, and I could improve my vocabulary. With relation to my individual goal, I definitely improved my time management skills to be able to work and meet on difficult hours of the day.